Hey everyone, it's Jill Kaminsky here with Leilani, and we are going to talk today about credit scores, credit cards, and credit card statements, and how to use those tools to actually get your credit score up. So, one thing I get asked a lot by people is, how do I get my credit score up, and is there a way to, use credit cards to do that? So, there is. So. Right? I mean, credit cards is a way to help, get your credit up. It's a way to show that you are using credit in a positive way, and that directly reflects your credit score.
Right.
So,
And it shows you how responsible you are,
mm-hmm.
which is what creditors look for. Mainly paying your bill on time,
Yeah.
the due date, and paying as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
So credit is used for everything nowadays.
Yes.
So
Yeah, because we were just talking about when Leilani was starting her credit that she actually missed her very first payment
yeah.
and how it totally just ruined her whole entire credit.
Well, it was already ruined.
Okay.
It was already bad as it was. I started at 490, one of the very, very low scores, which I didn't think there was such a low score than 500.
Yeah.
But 490 was pretty low. And I was more of the type person who didn't really take care of it, obviously, and didn't really want to.
Mm-hmm.
And because more of fear.
Oh, okay.
Because I was scared to look on what's on my credit. And I didn't want to deal with it. So it's kind of one of those out of mind, out of sight type deals.
Well, and I think too, I mean, your credit report, when you look at it, it's really intimidating because
Yeah.
it has all this information about you, and it's hard to read and understand what it's actually reporting.
Right. So I just got to the point because I knew that I wanted to move out of California. I knew I wanted to buy a house. It was, I think, back in May where I decided to get a secured credit card through my bank, Wells Fargo. So that's how it started.
Which is a great way to start. So we recommend that to everybody who doesn't have a lot of established credit. Go to your bank, wherever you bank, and get a secured credit card. Basically, it's a credit card that you pay in advance. So let's say you have a $300 maximum. You actually put that money up front. So you pay the $300 for the card, and then you use it like a credit card, and you keep on replenishing the money.
Right.
So
it's your money that you're using, but it's so you put a deposit down. So I put down $300, and so that's the only amount that I can spend. So when you do get it, you only want to spend 30% of it.
30% or less.
Or less.
Yeah.
The less the better.
Yeah.
But no more than 30%, because anything carried over to your next balance is showing that you use a lot more than what you have.
Yeah.
And that doesn't look good.
So 30% of 300 is $90.
Correct.
Okay, so that's all you use for the whole entire month.
Right. But the key is, though, if you have to use all of it, and you have to at least pay, your minimum is going to be $25.
Oh, okay.
So I would say pay more than your minimum. So that way you don't incur interest rates.
Yeah.
Or interest, yeah. So that way, you can pay it down, and then as much as you can. If you can't pay the whole thing, then at least pay it by your ending cycle.
Okay. So if you don't need to use all of the credit card, just use 30% of it, so $90, and then pay it off by the end of the cycle or the statement cycle.
Your billing cycle.
Your billing cycle, and that will make your credit score go up.
Right.
Right.
So as long as you pay it on time, and if, like I said, if you can't pay all of it by your due date, then pay at least by your billing ending cycle. Anything after your billing ending cycle is going to be carried over to your next balance for the next month. And if it's more than 90%, then that's what's going to show.
Okay.
And it's going to show on your credit report saying that your utilization is a little high. So anything under 30%, it'll say good job on your utilization, or as long as you make the payments, though, that's the key.
Yeah. So basically, with the credit card, you never want to use the full amount and have that amount go to the end of your statement. because that's when they take that snap picture of what your credit looks like at the time, and that's where they see, okay, you're at 90% of your credit, which means you're not doing a good job.
Right.
They think that you're irresponsible with credit, and they ding you for using 90% of your credit.
Yeah, it's just saying that you use more of what you have, and it doesn't really look good for the creditors, because that means if you were to get a higher limit, then
you would probably use all of it. Okay.
So,
well, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you do have credit cards, try to get them under that 30%,
especially if you're trying
limit.
To start off.
Yeah.
Like if you have bad credit like me, and you're just trying to start off all over again, reestablish your credit, then it's not wise to go over your limit. Mm-hmm. And it's not wise to miss a payment either.
Yeah, because missing a payment,
it affects your score, your
forever,
credit score.
Right?
Yeah.
Or not forever, but...
Well, it stays on, everything on your credit, for the most part, stays on your credit for at least 7 years, depending on what it is. But for the most part, it's like 7 years.
Yeah.
There are ways to get things off your credit, like letters and templates that they're
which we can go through that on another video.
Yeah. So missing one payment, it really affected my score, because right now I have really good payment history, but it's telling me because I missed one payment, my history is 96%, which is kind of like frustrating, because even though I started making payments on time since May, you would think you would go up a little bit, but it doesn't, because I have that one missed payment.
Okay.
So that affects your score overall. I want to say like maybe 70 to 80%.
Okay.
More than anything else.
Okay.
It's just one of the things that, like, number one, don't do.
Okay.
And the second one is your utilization. So you kind of want to keep that down to 30%, no matter how many credit cards you have.
So pay your credit cards on time, and then only use 30% of available credit on your credit cards. So if you have a max of $1,000, that means don't spend more than $300 a month on that credit card and pay it off at the end.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people have balances that, are keep on going over and over every single month. So, what kind of advice can we give them besides don't use your credit card? Stop using it.
You could use it, just be responsible with it, and just know your billing cycle, what it is, and your due date. It's two different things, and you really got to pay attention to your statements too. So, like my Capital One bill is due on the 16th, but my billing cycle is the 19th to the
20th.
The 20th of the next month. Mm-hmm. So I have to. So for instance, I just paid my $900 balance. So I used my credit, but as long as I pay it down by the due date, and if I can't pay it down by the due date, then I have to pay it down by my ending cycle, which is the 20th of the following month. Mm-hmm. So if I leave anything over 30%, then it gets carried over to my next month. Mm-hmm. And I don't want that, because it's showing that I have a high utilization on one of my cards, and I'm trying to keep all my cards under 30% or even 10%.
Yeah.
So, for instance, my Wells Fargo card, my payment is always due on the 27th. Mm-hmm. My billing cycle ends on the 2nd of the next month.
Oh, okay.
So I made a payment on the 1st, which I do not advise you to wait till the last minute. But I made a payment on the 1st thinking it was going to process that day or first thing in the morning, but it didn't. So on the 2nd, it read that I have spent $289, and that balance carried over to my next month.
Oh, no.
So for my next month, my scores dropped 30 points.
Wow. So
it's huge. Like, your utilization is a big key. It's one of those biggest keys for your credit score.
Okay.
So I would just pay attention to your due date and your cycle date. Okay. Your ending billing cycle date.
Yeah. And making sure, that you keep under that amount, that 30%.
Yeah. Yeah, just keep it. I mean, if you have to spend it, I know people, have to use it, and that's fine. But make your payments and pay it down by the ending cycle. Otherwise, your scores are never going to get to where you want it to be if you keep leaving over more than 30%.
Yeah. I was going to say, it probably doesn't really move that much.
It doesn't move.
It just don't do that.
Yeah, it'll either drop or it won't move at all.
Okay.
So depending on what it is. But,
okay. Well, that's all for now. I hope that brought some information to you guys about credit cards and how to actually use it as a tool to get your credit score up. Okay? Have a good day, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.